again. So we're working on the theory workbook level 1A, pages 9 to 12. And these are not too tricky, especially after having done the previous pages 5 to 8. A lot of this is about bass clef, right? Mastering bass clef. Just notice that bass clef, it's going to pop up a lot in these pages. Just don't forget, because it's very easy to think that you're looking at treble clef. So first they just kind of remind you what the notes look like, right, in bass clef. So all cows eat grass. Remember, that's the easiest way to remember bass clef. And then here you're just circling, just like you did with treble clef, but circle the C's, right? So just look for all cows, it should be that one, right? And just go across, circle all the C's, all the D's, the E's, the F's and G's. I think that part's not difficult. Let me know if there are questions. Moving on to page 10, similar stuff. Again, they remind you there's the cows thing. If you're looking at line notes instead, good boys do fine always, right? They're just good memory devices to remember some of these notes. Also B and C, eventually you'll play some of those as well. But this one, right, this is bass clef. And again, just make sure as you're doing any of these questions or on the midterm anywhere, just check out the clef sign, because that obviously it makes a big difference, right? So this part, you're just naming the notes, right? The first exercise includes C, D, and E only, right? So just naming C's, D's, and E's. This includes F's, so you might have C, D, E, and F, right? Any of those are in here, and then with G. So 5 possible letters that you'd use here. Same with page 11. They want you to focus on line notes, naming those, and then focus on space notes, and then a compilation of both things. All right, so that part's not hard. And then page 12, the last thing is just working on note values, which we've gone over a little bit. So the quarter note, half note, dotted half, the whole note. Just notice as you're, the questions will ask you to draw some of these. When they're printed, you have kind of a darker shading in some places and empty in others, like a calligraphy effect. You don't need to do that. For anything that's an empty circle, just make an empty circle, right? You don't need to do the shading. All right, so this part on the line below each note, write the number of counts or beats. Right, so you're just writing that's a half note's 2 counts, right? The whole note, if you forget, you can look up here, there's that whole note, 4 counts, right? Just going across, figuring those out, and then at the bottom, drawing some of these. And this just takes a little time, right? Just, again, you don't need to do any shading. 4 beats should look like that, right? Just an empty circle, right? So this part's pretty simple. So like this one, empty circle. If they want 3 beats, that's the half note, right? Stem up with a dot. The dot always goes after the note. All right, I think that part's pretty easy. If you have questions, let me know.